The young people have spoken, and they are continuing to speak. The Gen Zs are airing their voice. And trust you me, you have seen nothing yet. Whatever is happening in this country, I feel like there is a revolution that is coming, and it's going to be so big that it's going to sweep away all the old politicians. Maybe I will explain, but before I explain, if you are new to this platform and you are coming here for the first time, kindly take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you'll always be the first one to watch. Yes, so my name is the African Updater, and what we do here, sisi kazi yetu inakwanga kuchambua siasa. Yes, because politics is interesting, and politics defines our future. So take a second, subscribe, and I'll be back. Thank you for subscribing. So I was saying that there's a revolution coming, and the atmosphere, it's ripe. Like ni kama your revolution, it's just beckoning. I'll give the reasons why I'm saying this. Ruto gave out 20 million in a church in Nairobi, in somewhere in Rosyambu. And then the young people felt like, no, this is not right. So they decided to visit that church and talk to that pastor. And trust you me, that pastor alisalimiwa kwa simu. Someone shared his number and people walimsalimia. Paka yeye mwenyewe akainua mkono and he surrendered. And he said pole. But the Gen Zs, the young people are not satisfied. They said watakuja ku fellowship na yeye kwa kanisa. And trust me, for the first time, have you ever seen GSU manning a church? That happened. Because these people actualized their threats. So chaos erupted and everything. I wouldn't like to post that video of chaos. I'm not a person who like to post vitu zenye ziko nini. I just share a small video of people who walikuwa wamejibeba na magari kwa matatu na nini going to that function. So watch this and then I'll be back.
Hii ni kidogo hii. The next time watu occupy nyumba ya pastor bana. Na sio hii pekee, hadi zile kanisa zake ziko mtaa. Mimi majina ni Kenothi Ndongo. Leo imekuwa imekuwa sad sana kuona conversation kwa nchi imekuwa about a failing healthcare system. Lakini president anatembea hapa anatoa 20 million. Sasa zile bado sisi tuko na marambe nyumbani za wagonjwa wetu, SHA haifanyi kazi. After hiyo trouble yote tuko nayo nyumbani, tunasikia president amekuja ametu abuse, amesemaje shikeni 20 million na bado nawapatia public land. So ijengwe hospitali, ijengwe kanisa. So badala yetu kwenda hospitali kupata matibabu inafaa na pesa iko, tukuje kwa kanisa tuombe tupone. Na mimi nadhani hiyo ni politics ya zamani sana.
So guys, you've watched that video. So those were people who they had mobilized themselves for kwenda kwa hiyo kanisa. Unfortunately, they were not able to access the church, but there was an altercation with the police that happened, that took almost the whole day, and a few people, about 38 of the young people were arrested, but later they were released. And the church will proceed kama kawaida, but there was a bit of tension and everything. But there's something here that you people need to pick. That these young people mobilize themselves, walijimobilize kwa mtandao, and they agreed that they are going to occupy that church, they are going to visit that church. And trust you me, ni watu wenye wajuani, they mobilize kwa mtandao na wakatoka na wakaenda, and they went to that church. And even if they are not able to the purpose of doing these things is not actually to actualize what may happen, is for the young people to send a statement. And indeed, they have sent a statement to this government and to these people. And you can see the irony. The same our president was at some point banned contribution in churches. He is the same person who banned all these things in churches and in Harambes. But now he's the same person still doing the same thing yenye alikuwa amesema atafanya hapo awali. So the young people are taking note of these things, and there is hasira zao zinawapanda, because You watch someone give 20 million donation in a church. A church produces nothing. Do you know churches? We have so many churches, but churches do not produce anything. They are not factories. So instead of us opening factories, we keep on opening churches and churches and churches. So our people keep on being poor and poor and poor. And when you see people in these churches clap and they are happy and they are excited, you just sit back and wonder, kwani akili za watu zilienda wapi? So let me come back to my point, where I was saying that there's a revolution that is beckoning. You can see that something small as a donation of 20 million in a church is a that something small like a donation of 20 million in a church is enough to trigger Kenyans to mobilize, for them to mobilize to come and pay you a visit. Alafu niambie that Kenyans are not tired. Kenyans are tired. The young people are tired. And trust you me, mali pe imefika, these young people have decided that they are going to take their country back by hooks or crooks. They have decided that whatever it is, they are going to make sure that they make sure vitu zimenyoroka. We have good leadership. We have things are working. And that's why anyone who is against them, anyone who is not for them, then is against them. And that's why you see people like Raila have fallen into that bandwagon. That is the reality. And I want to give you a story how President Ruto found himself here. It's a very, very short story from the Bible. You remember very well when the Israelites walifika Israel, the Canaan, the promised land, they watched how those people who used to be there used to have kings and everything. And the Israelites admired and they wanted to have a king. So they kept on pestering God that they want a king, they can't even a king. The king, God denied them that for a very long time until finally he accepted. And then that is how this king that came before David, King Saul. That is how Saul was anointed and Saul became a king. It was not because God wanted, but it's because the Israelites wanted. And then it went until some point, then Saul started now doing things that were not pleasing God and were not pleasing in the eyes of the people who put him when the Israelites. And then he lost favor in God, because remember, Saul was anointed by God to be the king. That is after the Israelites walikuwa pester God for a very long time that they wanted a king. And then Saul lost favor in the eyes of God. When Saul lost favor in the eyes of God, that favor and that anointing were shifted to David. And from that point, everything Saul alikuwa anafanya, ilikuwa inaharibika. Like everything he will do, people will complain. Even when he'll go in battlefield, he will lose soldiers and everything. Like everything he used to touch, ilikuwa inaharibika. And anywhere he used to go. That is because the anointing ili shift from Saul ikaenda kwa David. This is the same thing that happened here in Kenya. The person you wanted to be the president was not the person that God had chosen. That is the reality. The person you people fought so hard to be the president was not the person that God had chosen. But you people kept on insisting until God said, sawa, nimewapatia, wacha akue. And the person became the president, the person became the king. But along the way, power and ikamu overpower, and he started now misusing that power. The same way Saul alifanya. And with time, the person you all wanted lost interest. You lost interest in that person. Yani he lost favor in the eyes of the people and in the eyes of God. And now everything he's touching inaharibika. Everywhere he goes inaharibika. Everything he tries, nothing works. Because he lost the favor of God. The men of God cannot tell him the truth because they are there to eat. They know the truth. They are there to eat whatever is left. Everyone who is surrounding the king now, he's there to eat what is left. And that is what happened with Saul. Everyone who was coming close to Saul was there to eat what is left. But they knew very well that the anointing had left Saul. So anointing has left the person you loved. It has gone to who? We don't know. But that person, God will reveal that person sooner or later. That is the reality. And once you lose favor in the eyes of God, trust you me, you can go to so many churches, but the favor will not be there. The anointing will not come back. That is the reality. So I just gave that story of the Bible so that you people can relate. Why everything now is kila kitu inaenda kombo. Kila kitu yenye inaguzwa inaenda kombo. It is very, very interesting. So our David is going to come. I don't know where he's going to come from. We can just preempt. We can just say maybe atatoka, maybe atakuwa somewhere, but we don't know who he is. But God is going to anoint someone. Because right now you can see, and even the story is just a good replica in the Bible. Anyone who associated with Saul either died in the battle ama hakukuwa na nini. Anyone who associated with him. And anyone who is associating with our president, with the king, you can see what is happening. You can see what is happening. Anointing. When God elevates you and puts you in a position of authority, never, never, never take it for granted. That is the biggest lesson that you people, you Kenyans and you leaders should learn from this. Even for our own Rao, when God elevates you, when you are put in a position of influence, when people trust in you, when people put their hopes in you, never, never, never turn your back on them. Raila, people have died for you. People have suffered for you. There are people who are now dead because they were dying, because they died for your cause, for a cause that you called. There are people who are shot. There are kids who died. There are people who are homeless. There are people who are injured and they are crippled because they believe that they were fighting for something that was just. So you've turned against them, and now their cries and their pains and everything they've gone through, their cries and their suffering and their bitterness, God has ameskia. God ameskia. And now trust you me, God is fixing this country. God is fixing Kenya. Everything you are seeing happening, God is fixing this Kenya. And is making sure that everything will align to his glory. God is fixing this country. It is hard to take, but that is the reality. I don't know. Thank you guys. That is all I had to say. That at the end of the day, whenever you are elevated to a position of authority, never take it for granted. Serve and serve diligently. Serve and serve rightfully. Do not take people for a ride. Because once that anointing is gone, it never comes back. You can never fight it back. It will never return. It is time for you young leaders, the Casmuels, the Moraras, people who want to now join the Ponya politics. It is high time you learn from this. You get this story and you learn from it. You're siding with the oppressors. You are siding with the people who have plundered this country. You will inherit their sins. You will inherit their curses. You will inherit their problems. Everything, all their curses and their nini, you will inherit. Desist. Leave those people. Stay alone. And this one, I'm also speaking to people like Sifuna and Babu Owino and Akina Ndindi Nyoro and these young politicians who we feel like they have so much potential. Do not associate with these people. Because trust you me, you will carry their curse. You will carry their punishment. Anyway, guys, thank you. That was all from me today. I felt like I needed to be emotional, motivational kiasi, and I also nini. So thank you guys. For anyone who has watched this video until the end and you are new to this platform, kindly take a second and subscribe. And for those who are return subscribers, thank you and say thank you so much. We have grown so much in this platform. I started this platform with just, I didn't expect, but the kind of support nimepata, with the kind of everything coming through, I really appreciate. And those people who come to my video and comment and say whatever they want to say, I really appreciate you guys. All I'm requesting is that at the end of the day, let us always remain respectful. Hapana tukana mtu. Don't insult someone so that you can push your point. Let us be mature, let us be modest people, let us be civilized people. We can always agree to disagree. I'm not wrong, I'm not always wrong, and I'm not always right. Same to you. So just share what you feel about the whole situation in a good way, but still remain respectful. Because we need to, the main reason why we are creating this platform is that we want to create a safe space whereby we as Kenyans can engage in a manner that doesn't suggest like we are attacking each other. Let's discuss, kwa sababu the future of this country is in the hands of the young people. So the young people should come out and engage in politics and take these positions, but let's do it respectfully. Thank you. Till next time. Bye-bye.
African update.